So my role here at the organization is that I am the co-founder of the organization, and apart from that, I also hold the position of the director, overseeing the administrative, programmatic, strategic, financial processes and systems of the organization overall. That has been my major role, I think, and a lot of interfacing with donors, being able to be the face of the organization. That has been, I think, primarily my role, and maybe for the others, they can share. Yeah.
So yeah, my name is Peacefully Nurturing, and I've been working here now for the past 8 years. So my role here is I'm working as a program lead, and also manages the work in terms of mainly on the personal safety education program that Prof. Shannon has shared. I hold the position of a line manager where I oversee work which the outreach educator who goes to the school and take up sessions.
Hello, my name is Arlisha Karnier. Just like Peace, I hold the position of a program lead and I overlook the implementation of programs in the community specifically. So with me there are team members such as the Sports for Development coach. Shannon, I think so she's already mentioned about the sports ultimate frisbee. So we have a Sports for Development coach and a second line coach who's also from the community. She's been trained by the coach, and then we've taken her in to facilitate these sessions with the girls in these communities that we're working with in Ribhoi.
We started this organization in the year 2013 with the vision that the society would respect the rights of children, the youth, young people, young women and girls. And since 2013, one of the core work or the core issue that we've been dealing with or addressing has been child sexual abuse. So that's a gist of the work that of the organization. But of course, our work primarily centers around working with children directly, and also we run a program, what is called the Personal Safety Education Program. So it's a life skills curriculum that teaches children on how protective behavior, on how they can safeguard themselves from safe and unsafe situations, from possible risk of abuse. At the same time, empowering them with the voice so that they can then report. They can share it with somebody and report, and that's one way that we can say that we can prevent child sexual abuse. So that is what we do in Edgist. Yeah. So our target has been with the personal safety education program has been mainly working in schools, because we feel that school is a second home, for children, and you should know that when it comes to child sexual abuse usually happens in places that are at home or people that are known to the child. So school is one place that we feel that we can actually impart the life skills education to these kids. Apart from that, we also work with a few communities, even the rural communities in Bhoi. But our approach in terms of safety for adults and girls and boys has been using sports as a means. So what we do is we teach children frisbee, and through frisbee, the sport frisbee, they're able to learn about build their leadership skills, at the same time as well learn life skills, and so then through the medium of sports we're able to also impart life skills education to children. Yes.
How successful has this campaign?
Honestly, it's been a learning experience for us. We've learned that just one-time sessions is not enough. So I can say that maybe something positive that has come out of this program is that learning for us. At the same time, for us to be able to also negotiate with schools so that schools will give us more time. So when we initially started with like a one-time program, let's say a one-time session of 1 hour or 2 hours, now we've been able to stretch it up to up to
Nice
nine,
session.
9 sessions. The other thing that we also do, I think, as an organization is that we've been able to also develop our curriculums for for these children. So our program is such that it's age appropriate, language appropriate, and the information that we also share is also then appropriate depending on if we're looking at classes class 1, class 2, the kind of information, our approach would be different as compared, let's say, to children who are in their 9 or 10 standard. Apart from that, the other thing that we've been doing is that's also a learning for us, is that teaching children is not enough. That's also important, to also impart that kind of information, awareness, create awareness and sensitization for adults like teachers, parents, even non-teaching staff for that matter, and the community as a whole. So because see, at the end, if a child, like, we're teaching them personal safety and a child reports, but if an adult does not respond, then it becomes pointless, right? So also that whole thing of making adults aware about the issue, for adults to understand that, oh, these are the signs that we can look for in case a child is abused or at risk of being abused, and also the right mechanisms, the right reporting that they need to take in accordance with the law that has been placed by the state or by the country. Yeah.
From Shannon, would you say that are there enough counselors in schools and in villages, or do you feel there is a need of it and to educate such people?
The majority of the schools that we work in, we can say, I guess, out of, if I have to say, out of 11 schools, we can say that maybe 2 schools out of 11 schools have counselors. The rest do not have counselors. And that's also one of the service that we offer to these schools. In case there's a child that wants to report, in case there are teachers who have been able to identify such children, we do offer counseling in the sense that we handle those kind of disclosures as well. So it is definitely important. We see the need, because I think at this day and age, I feel counselors are very much needed in schools. Yeah, because even teachers are facing that kind of challenges. It could be a behavior problem, it could be anything, but how can someone who is not teaching but who can come on a level or in a position of a counselor, that children can confide in, or children can trust and inform the counselor what they're feeling, and the help that, let's say, that they can receive from a counselor, that is very much needed.
Shannon, how has the government been instrumental in your journey so far?
Being a young organization, that's one. But I think they've been positive, especially with the education department in the year 2018. That was when we reached out to them with a proposal of to do this in collaboration. And since 2018, they've been the ones allotting schools that they feel there's a need for such programs. I mean, of course, this program is needed everywhere, but that is what the government's been doing. So, of course, now we're trying to move to a more intense kind of collaboration with the government. Very recently we met with the Chief Minister, Honorable Chief Minister Conrad Sangma, and on how we can, see if we could implement this program in all schools in Meghalaya. That's also part of our goal. At the same time, how can we also work with them in framing of a child safeguarding policy, for schools, or it could be for different departments as well, that whatever that we do or adults do or departments do, the kind of programs that we bring in, that they do not cause any kind of a risk or harm to any child that they are in touch with through their programs. So having some systems in place, some processes in place, that we're able to safeguard them and prevent further abuse or prevent any kind of harm. Yeah. As an organization, we feel that each and everyone should join hands in this cause that we're working. Especially, we're talking about child rights, and we if we're looking at the future of our people, let's say the Khasi people or our indigenous communities, we need to place a lot of focus on children, the present children, so that we can have like a better future for them, and generations and generations ahead. That is something that we have in mind. But of course, we want that our program, if the government can actually take it up, like it could be how we have value education in every school. Could we have like a personal safety education subject, or a curriculum that the government can actually take in and adapt or replicate on whatever way. And at the same time, I feel that is one thing that we do, that that our program would reach out to each and every child. At the same time, we also realize that as an organization we cannot be everywhere, right? And I think it's important, as adults, not thinking about it as a moral obligation, but looking at it from a human rights perspective, that why is it that we need to take care of that child? Why is it that we need to protect that child? And that it would be like our right, our duty and responsibility, that we decide as adults that okay, we need to protect that child. So could we look at also training teachers, and so that's one of the things that we're also moving forward, that training teachers. We understand that teachers, they have a lot on their plate, but maybe as an organization develop materials for them, wherein they're able to deliver these in their day-to-day classrooms, actually start having these conversations with children. I think overall that is what we want to do. And of course at the end, because we're working on the issue of child sexual abuse, which is like a gender and sexual based violence. And when you look at the society, we always see that the perpetrators have always been men, right? And of course there are women, but can we kind of like start educating our young boys as well? How can we bring them in as allies? And I'm not saying that they're the only ones, right? Even they are actually can be victims of different forms of gender and sexual based violence. So because we're looking at gender equality or gender equity, how can we bring these two together? So that is our our overall goal. And how can we also be more inclusive? Can we look at children with disabilities? So there's much that we're learning, and every day that we're learning, and we're rethinking our programs so that we're able to include everyone, the different kinds of children. It could be rural, it could be urban, it could be children with disabilities, and others. Yeah.
So, for all these programs that you have done in the past, has it been what are the chances that you face in co-ed institutions as compared to one gender institutions?
Main challenges for us is the issue, because it's a very sensitive issue. Many people are not that comfortable to talk about such issue. So another thing is, we work with schools very closely, but they've been very supportive to the work that we do, to the program that we are conducting in their schools. But there is apprehension from their end in terms of to be able to speak openly about the body parts, or about sexual reproductive health and right. And some feels that it's not important to talk about such topics, but we feel that it's very important. And I think another thing is that changing mindset of people is very difficult. So those are some of the challenges that we are currently facing.
So, what are the areas of child protection that is most challenging to you?
This issue, it is a public issue, but they feel that it's a private issue, and because of that, because of that, there's so much of silence around the issue. And like what Peace had shared, that how can we change the mindsets of people? Changing mindset is the most difficult. The change in the behavior, the change in the attitude of individuals, I think including us. How can we unpack, a lot of what we've been brought up with, how the society has molded us to think this way? Like I'll share with you an example. If a rape happens to a child or to a woman, the first question would be, what was she wearing, right? So can we change that? And so that's the attitude change that needs to come. And I feel if that each and every one of us are able to bring about that change within ourselves, then that means we're there. We've broken the silence, and then that could be one way that we can tackle this issue. And I think this issue is something that it may not end, but it can be prevented. Yeah. So empowering children with the voice that they're able to say, okay, you know what, I don't feel comfortable with your touches. Again, one thing that we also have to keep in mind, that we do not bring it to the children that they have to be scared and worried about everything, right? Because physical intimacy is required. You need to hug people. You need to show your love and affection. But for them to be able to make that distinction, what is safe, what is unsafe, and that to trust their instincts and know that I'm not in a safe situation, and that I need to speak to somebody, I need to speak to a trusted adult. That is something that we envision, I think, for us. I feel like women are more responsive. They are positively, I think women with their instincts, I guess even if you go to the communities, we have more women coming forward and say, okay, this program is important. But I think again, for men, it differs from men to men. I'm not saying that everyone, it's about the attitude that an individual has, irrespective of the gender, that we know is right to do. It really doesn't matter who says what.
So do you think the education of a child, does it make a difference with their understanding of their self-awareness? Is it interlinked in any way? Can you please give our viewers a little insight on that?
It is a life skills curriculum, like you asked about self-awareness. They do have an understanding about themselves, because we teach them about being special, about that you are unique and special in your own way. And I feel that these life skills, we do insert these life skills, like being assertive, communication skills, then about taking decisions and all. So we realized that towards the end of the session, there are children who have come up to us and shared that they have experienced unsafe situation in the past. So if we wouldn't have had these sessions with them, they wouldn't have come to us and realized that they have experienced unsafe touches. So we feel that this program is very impactful to our children, because they've come up to us and post whatever they've shared. We come back, and then the counselor would go and provide psychosocial support to these children. So we were able to help them in terms of counseling, and even to report a case to the concerned authority, to the CDCPU, about the abuse that has happened to them. So it has come up from the sessions that we have conducted.
If we talk about technology, I think children now are having access to technology, which is important. Internet is important. But I feel that the misinformation that they are getting online, that could be one. Secondly is I feel that right now with the kids, so if we have to speak about the children that we work with, they come from very difficult backgrounds. So I mean, if we were to talk about the kind of difficulty that they face, I mean, it's a lot, honestly. And I'm not saying that other children will not be facing the same thing, but then again, there's also the high risk also right now of children, um, the kind of abuse that they can actually happen online also is pretty high because of the access that they have, online. So the other thing actually that we do, that we forgot to mention, is providing psychosocial and legal support. We have a team of counselors, a caseworker, and so for this particular project, we work directly with the District Child Protection Unit and the Child Welfare Committee. So when cases come, I mean, after cases are being reported, then they would go to the Child Welfare Committee. The Child Welfare Committee is a body that looks at the rehabilitation, psycho, rehabilitation of a child. They would then reach out to us. Reach out to us, wherein then we are the ones who kind of look at counseling, supporting the child when the child needs to go to court. If the child needs some kind of medical support, we're there to accompany the child, doing home investigation studies and reports. Apart from that, I think also an aftercare, having an aftercare plan for them. If the children who have dropped out, if they do want to look at vocational training as another way of another route for livelihood, is something that we also support from the organization. I think that's about it. So it's the state that appoints our team members as support persons.